Yo, what is up YouTube? It's your boy Legend and I'm back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe while you're at it. But without further ado, let's get into this intro so we can start this what if. Alright guys, we start this episode off with Sasuke. A total of 3 hours have passed throughout the entirety of the elemental nations. Sasuke walked up a flight of stairs with his eyes closed. He was thinking. He just abandoned a very important mission. He did something that could get him arrested if not killed. If Danzo wanted to, he could write Sasuke off as a missing ninja for abandoning his mission. Well, it's too late to go back now. Sasuke opened his eyes to show a fully mature 3-tomo Sharingan as he walked through the door. He saw Itachi just sitting there, like he was some king. So you finally came, my foolish little brother. And I find it insulting that you greet me with the first form of the Sharingan, especially after our last encounter. Sasuke said nothing. He wasn't going to give in to his taunts that easy. No reaction, little brother. Fine. Let's get started. I have orders to look after a village. Itachi then appeared back to back with Sasuke as they spun at the same time. Itachi ducked as Sasuke swung wide. Itachi was already in his guard as he hit Sasuke with a palm to his chin. Sasuke flipped back and landed on a knee as he formed a Chidori. He ran at Itachi before slamming his hand down, making Itachi jump, but he was soon pinned to the ground with the sword through him. Before I finish this, I want answers. I know you didn't kill the entire clan alone. Who helped you and why? Itachi then burst into crows as Sasuke stood. My foolish little brother. To think you still fall for finger genjutsu farce, even after you've obtained the Mangekyo Sharingan. Black Zetsu then came from the ground. He was pissed. All his plans were in shambles. He was getting desperate. To think that he would show himself here in a fight between two Uchihas just so he can be a scavenger and take the one who's closest to death. Itachi then rose a hand as he stood up. Give me 1 second, Sasuke. We have an unwanted spectator. Itachi turned his head and looked at Zetsu, locking eyes with him. Zetsu tried to leave, but he couldn't sink into the floor. What is this? What's happening? Zetsu was then wrapped up in paper bombs as Konan came out looking much better than when she was used by Nagato. You can't leave because I've sealed off the exit. Your ability does not work in this room. Zetsu was then exploded into a liquid mess. Looks like your seals only nullified his ability to a certain extent, Konan. I'll finish him off. Itachi then cast Amaterasu on the pile that was reforming Zetsu as it started to burn him to ash, removing Madara's will from the face of the elemental nations. Meanwhile, with Naruto, he kicked open the door of the shack as he dragged another stone shinobi into it as he tied this one up into the bathroom and closed the door. He then walked back to the main room and pulled up a chair in front of his first captive as he stopped struggling against the chains that were suppressing him. Naruto had already started his interrogation before he went out to capture the other shinobi, so the man was sitting against the wall with his hands chained to a water heater while he was in the nude. Naruto looked down at him with cold eyes. What are you looking at, bastard? If you're wondering if I like guys, You got the wrong person. I mean, what man strips another man while he's unconscious? He then started to laugh as he spat towards Naruto's feet, missing by inches. I'm glad you can make jokes, but who will have the last laugh when I beat and torture you within an inch of your life? It's... Alright fam, it's about to get really graphic and messy. So if you don't want to listen to all that nastiness, I suggest you skip forward about 2 minutes. Naruto pulled out a roll of ninja wire that had 2 metal rods around 2 inches tied to both ends. You know, gag wires are usually used for assassination missions, but I never seen Anko use such thing for torture. It can cut through flesh with some resistance, but it takes more effort once it hits bone. Naruto wrapped it around the man's middle finger and twisted the metal handles, tightening the wire as it began to cut into his flesh, causing the man to yelp. Now, your friend in the other room, he had a map on him. From what I can tell, it's the inside of the hidden stone. I want you to point out the building that Anko and Temari are being held in. Naruto pulled the map from his back pocket and unfolded it. Like, I would tell you anything, prick. Naruto calmly set the map down before he gave the wire 3 more big twists as the wire cut deep into the man's middle finger as blood poured from the fine cut and pulled down the water heater as the wire now rested against the man's bone. The man screamed and thrashed as he tried to pull his hand free, but his finger was already gone. Now that you know I'm not playing around, I will ask you again. Naruto froze as the man gave a pained grin. This asshole just spit into his mouth while he was talking. Naruto yanked the wire as it slid under the man's flesh with ease as it removed all the skin and meat tissue from the man's finger, leaving nothing but the joint and bones. The man howled as he quickly regretting his prior action, and Naruto wasn't even done. He completely removed the man's ring finger with the wire as it fell to the floor in a bloody heap. With his missing finger flesh, Naruto then spit back at the man's face before coughing. As I was saying, I want everything to go smoothly when I go and get my friends, so I need to know where they're being kept. Naruto was being way too calm in this interrogation. It was almost like Anko. Screw you, man. Fuck you. Your pathetic friends. But I'll tell you this. Those sexy bitches will get what they deserve. Stuck up Kage and Konoha scum. They were very feisty too. I know from experience. The man started to chuckle as he looked up at Naruto. The one with the purple hair with the fan ponytail? She's top notch, you know. They plan to use them as EX slaves after they found it pointless to torture them. And man, that purple haired girl has a mouth on her. Guess what she did? Naruto planted the sole of his shoe into the man's face as his head hit against the wall. The man looked dizzy as Naruto glared down at him, and the man simply grinned. Guess what I did to the bitch, kid? I can't say that word on YouTube, the shit out of her. She's a killer at doing the sweet honey teok. No teeth at all. You should have seen the look on her pathetic face. It was even better when I shot something down her throat. The bitch apparently don't like to swallow, and she spit it all out on the floor. So I took it all up in my hand and I slapped the dirty bitch with it. The entire time, more of Naruto's killing intent was leaking out as he listened. You may wonder why I tell you this. Well, it's simple. to see you suffer at not being able to help them. Oh, and we're getting to the best part. You know that stuck-up Kage-san bitch? The ass on her is top-notch, but I had better give it a 6 out of 10. I was going to do the older one, but the blonde volunteered. The yelp she made when I rammed my entire banana tree into her was... Then there was a crash. Naruto had had enough. He wasn't going to listen to this bastard as he molested and took advantage of two people that he cared about. Even if Anko was a recent case, it didn't matter. The day she told him the rest of her backstory, when she helped him through his night terrors, he made a promise to himself that he wouldn't let anything harm her at all if he could help it. Naruto had the man by the face, and the back of his head was in the wall, splintering it. Naruto let go as he punched the man. His eyes were now slitted in red with rage. There were a total of 5 hard crashes as Naruto punched the man over and over again. Naruto pulled his fist back once more as he rammed it full force into the man's face, cracking the wood behind the man. Also, breaking the man's cheekbone. His face now looked like raw burger meat, and his left eyebrow was off center and shattered, giving him a permanent lazy eye. As he sat there, unconscious. Hell no, I'm not done with you. Naruto grabbed the other prisoner out of the bathroom as he sat him down in front of the other guy. As he pulled out a needle and stuck it into the unconscious man. Wake the fuck up. Naruto stabbed the hot water heater as it blew burning hot steam onto the man's ribs as he tried to move but couldn't as his flesh slowly started to melt. His companion looked on in horror. He was just the new guy, and his senior looked like shit. That was a little adrenaline I injected you with. Now, you won't be sleeping for some time. Naruto stabbed the kunai into the man's ankle and twisted it as the man screamed and arched his back. He just wanted this to stop. He wanted to break the kid, but it completely backfired. Naruto pulled out a marker and put it in the other guy's mouth as he held the map up to his face. Draw an X on the spot that they are now. Don't do it. Don't tell him anything. The new guy spit the marker out and spat at Naruto, who stepped back. You know what? I'm done playing with both of you, especially you, you sick freak. Naruto crouched down and was now face to face with the I can't say any of the words on YouTube. Starts with R, ends with T. As he pulled a kunai, Naruto then looked down, causing both captives to look down. Oh no. No. Please don't do it, man. Please, nah. That is brutal. Don't do it, man. Naruto didn't even find amusement in the naked man's fearful tone as he lowered the kunai. He then made a decent sized cut at the base of the man's banana tree as he yelled and squirmed in agony. It wasn't too big, but it also wasn't small, but yet it was small enough to heal on its own. The man started to calm as he looked at Naruto. He didn't cut his banana tree. Thank you. Naruto had a malicious look in his eyes. Who said I was done? He then grabbed hold of the man's banana tree, and his subordinate could see what was happening. As he looked on in shock, he was going to rip the entire tree out of the ground. You know, it's like removing a band-aid that was on for too long. You start off slow, but soon enough, you just rip it off. Naruto started to pull and yank As the man cried out, he didn't expect this. This was insane. He couldn't even think, let alone speak. His banana tree was getting ripped out of the ground very slowly. It was agonizing. The sound of stretching and ripping could be heard along with the screams. Naruto was lucky. He put up silencing seals because this was loud. The other man couldn't stand the sight of his superior getting his banana tree ripped up out of the ground, so he stopped it. I'll tell you what you want to know. I'll tell you, just stop. Naruto stopped. He then turned and put the marker into his mouth and held up the map as the other man just sat there and cried. His banana tree was halfway rooted up. The man put an X over where they were and spit the marker out. Check with him. He will verify it, I swear. Naruto stood and turned around, facing the nude man again. Oh, I believe you. Naruto then ripped off the rest of the banana tree and shoved it down the man's hatchet before kicking him in the face, muffling his screams. What the hell, man? I gave you what you wanted. Naruto retorted by saying, this is war. As he went into the bathroom and came back out with a jar of roaches, he then dumped all the roaches down the other man's throat as all the bugs scampered around slowly as it blocked the man's windpipe as the man choked on the roaches and they filled his stomach. His abdomen soon turned purple, a sign of internal bleeding, as he collapsed over convulsing before he finally died. Both of them were dead, one from blood loss and injury, the other from internal bleeding. Naruto then collapsed himself and threw up. He's never done something this extreme, and it hurt him. He took lives before, but it was always fast. He tortured, but not to this extent. The emotional mask he put on for this mission broke temporarily as he cried and slammed his fist into the wooden floors. Anko, Tamari, I'm sorry. Just hold on a little longer. A few minutes later, Naruto stood and wiped the vomit from his lips as he reapplied his emotional mask before putting on his root Anbu mask and vanishing within a Senshin. He started to make his way. All the patrols that were actively looking for any disturbances now died down, allowing him to move more freely. With Sasuke, he was now on a roof with Itachi in a losing Kenjutsu fight. Itachi had Amaterasu coating his Tanta while Sasuke had lightning. What angered Sasuke was that Itachi's Tanta was perfectly fine. If he tried putting Amaterasu on his sword, he would burn through it within a few minutes due to his lack of control. Sasuke jumped back and threw his sword, hitting Itachi as he burst into crows. The crows started to form behind Sasuke as Itachi thrust out his Tanto before he was blown back by Sasuke. Enough! I'm done with your games. Sasuke stood in his imperfect Susanoo with 2 legs as he raised the sword only to be blown away himself. Itachi started to rise off of the ground with the Yatamir raised and his imperfect Susanoo surrounding him. You're good, but not good enough, little brother. Sasuke formed his crossbow as the black flames engulfed the arrows. I'm ending this. This will either kill you or leave you drained from the damage. The arrow shot toward Itachi as he raised his shield. When they made contact, there was a massive bang with the white flash. When everything died down, Sasuke was on one knee. He looked over and became enraged as he hit the floor. Why are you alive? Itachi stood there, his shirt torn and pants scuffed. 2 figures then came next to him as Sasuke rubbed his eyes. Itachi started to walk towards Sasuke as he stepped back into the wall. Itachi then poked him on the forehead with a smile as he activated his Mangekyo Sharingan. You've gotten stronger, little brother. Tsukiyomi. Time skip. 1 hour. With Naruto. He looked down at the village hidden in a stone with his flight suit on. The sight of the place made him want to level it right now, but he refrained. They had 2 Jinchuriki and a Kage that could erase him with 1 attack. He needed a distraction. Naruto jumped off of the cliff as he glided down to the village with immense speed. Halfway down, he started to go through hand signs, ready to use his pre-made plan. He slammed his hands on the air, summoning jutsu. There was a giant poof and a loud screech. Zulu, cause as much damage as possible. If it becomes too much, go home. The giant griffin, named Zulu, shot out a beam of ice, freezing everything it touched as it flapped its large eagle wings. With everyone's attention on the summon, they failed to notice Naruto land on a rooftop as he cut down 8 stone shinobi before vanishing into the ventilation system. Naruto slowly crawled through the vents, coming up on a grate with 2 stone shinobi underneath it. Whatever is going on out there, I'm glad we don't need to deal with it. Yeah, you're right. Sounds like a shit show, but I'm sure it's nothing. And besides, all we need to do is watch the 2 sluts. This is stupid. Anoki really said we can't do the 2 of them until they get properly sold to a whorehouse. Who cares if all he said was we can't have any front door action, but the top and back doors, they're still available. And besides, even if he meant we can't touch them at all, the newly appointed Anbu commander already throat, you know what, the purple haired one, and took the blonde's cheeks. Damn, he was lucky. After Sharingan Lee was killed by the copy ninja, Ryo was appointed a new Anbu commander. Naruto thought for a second. He ended up torturing the Anbu commander. That's why he was moderately hard to break. He was then pulled back into their conversation. Well, I'm going to go and take that purple-haired girl's cheeks. It sounds like the fighting died down outside. Naruto's eyes became slitted as he exploded out of the vents in the Kurama chakra mode, catching both guards by surprise as he killed them. Naruto then pushed open the door to the left as tears immediately came to his eyes. But they weren't visible due to his root Anbu mask. He walked up to the both of them, but they were traumatized. Even after he removed his mask and they saw his face, it was like they didn't know him. They were hog-tied with chakra suppressors. Naruto walked forward, but they scooted away in a frail and weak attempt. Stay away from us. Please, no more, yelled Tamari. Anko looked at him with a feared, dazed look, with dried up tears on her cheeks as both of them cowered in their nude states. Naruto was visibly crying. He never thought he would see anyone he cared about in a state like this. Anko had dry, tree sap on the back of her panties and on the front of her body, as the same with Tamari. Naruto took another step before he had to stop. If you're going to do this to us again, make sure to kill us afterwards. This came from Anko, and it nearly made him break down. Anko, Tamori, it's me, Naruto, your best friend and subordinate. The 2 moved back, more with a hazy look. Naruto dashed forward and hugged the both of them as they tried to fight and squirm, but he started to emit a bright blue glow as he released his chakra. It then started to turn yellow as he started to give them his chakra as they stopped fighting. They soon started to recognize him by sensing his chakra as they turned their heads into his embrace. They started to tear up. Anko fought back her tears, but Tamari let hers flow as Naruto cut them free. They wanted to jump on him then and there and just hold him, but they soon felt almost the entirety of the village closing in on them. It has to be here. It felt both of the chakra surges from somewhere in this area. Search all the rooms. Make sure the 2 slaves are secure before anything, though. They may be broken, but they are very skilled. Naruto looked at the two before he looked down at his flight suit. At the moment, this was his only one. He looked around the room, chakra-resistant walls, and now vents. How are we going to get out of here? Naruto had no time to think as he heard them approaching the room. They were they were approaching fast, too fast for his comfort. They were at least 6 dozen in this one building, with 8 approaching his position. Anko, Tamari, grab onto me like your life depends on it, because it does. Naruto put his mask back on before wrapping his arms around both girls as they held him. At the far end of the room, Naruto started to speak out loud in a whisper. Kurama, you told me about a full-tailed beast state. Naruto was cut off. You don't have the energy to maintain it. It would be your first time. You would be able to maintain it for 20 seconds and then you would revert back to your normal cloak. And that's with me forcing my power onto you. I'll take that chance even if it kills me. The two girls looked at Naruto as they saw a bead of sweat fall from the inside of his mask. The door was kicked open as Naruto lit up in a golden glow as the head of Kurama formed before the rest of his body manifested. But guys, I'm going to end it off right there. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. But without further ado, I'm out. And I will see you guys maybe later on today since I'm going to be streaming on the second channel. Peace.